Hey, thank you for checking out this video. Just a heads up though, we're not showing actual wrestling footage as this is an internet wrestling radio show only. And it may contain language that could be offensive to some. So if you can't handle it, giving you a heads up now, you may want to skip this episode. Thank you so much. Enjoy, comment, and subscribe.
The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation. Keeping it honest, insightful, interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond. You're listening to the RCWR show with Lee Sanders and Diamond K.
This is the one and only the Black Avenger, a.k.a. the Black Azrael, Lee Sanders, coming at you with an all-new RCWR post-show on April 20th, 2013. We are just seconds removed from the Shine Wrestling Zone Shine 9 iPay-per-view. And if you are not able to check out this pay-per-view tonight, you're in for a treat. You know how we do it over here on the RCWR Post Show. We give you all the fixins, all the pay-per-view results of what you might have missed from some of your favorite wrestling promotions. You can kick on back right now. You can call into the show if you'd like to be on the air and share your thoughts about tonight's Shine 9 iPay-per-view. Number to call, as always, is 646-478-3525. Once again, that is 646-478-3525. Chat rooms are not open tonight. Normally, they are open on our post shows, but I am feeling a little bit under the weather. A mad shout out to those of you, by the way, that took the time out to send your tweets or hit me up via email. I know I had got a couple of direct messages from some people had wishing me to get well, as I've been battling a nasty chest cold all week long. I'm getting a little better, but as you can kind of tell, I'm sounding a little bit congested tonight. I'm not quite up to my top form, but I did not want to leave you Shine Wrestling fans hanging. I wanted to talk about tonight's pay-per-view. I will continue to be on a extended break, at the very least until this coming Tuesday night, where myself and Diamond K will return with an all-new RCWR show, cover the latest in wrestling-related news and beyond. But your words, for those of you that had hit me up, wish me to have a speedy recovery, I do really appreciate it. Thanks for those kind thoughts. All right, so let's dive into tonight's Shine pay-per-view. You know how we do it over here. You know, we have been covering Shine Wrestling, if I'm not mistaken, since Shine 5 last year, and it's with that passion, it's with that dedication that we continue to follow the promotion to give you guys a taste of what's happening in other wrestling promotions. And if you haven't gotten on board of the Shine Women's promotion yet, it's not too late for you to start, as good timing right here. Great way to get into this promotion, as tonight they had not one, not two, not three, but count them, 4 Shine Women's Wrestling qualifying matches, as it is underway, a special tournament it is, to determine the first ever Shine Women's champion. That's right, for the very first time in Shine Women's history, they're going to be crowning a champion for that respected promotion. Let's kick it off from the very top. You know how we do it. We give you each match as it had came about. And for our match opener, folks, we saw the beautiful and the lovely Allison K, along with April Hunter, who did a little bit of managing work outside the ring, as Kay took on Courtney Rush. That's right, Courtney Rush. Now, for just a little bit of a background for those of you that might not be that familiar with her, she's basically a Canadian wrestler that has performed for promotions such as Shimmer's Women's, of course, NCW, Femmes Fatales, Maximum Pro Wrestling, BCW. She's a former Shimmer Tag Team Champion with Cerro Del Rey. So that gives you a little bit of a background on her. She has been active since 2008. And not to mention, she's also done a little bit of acting, to say the least. Remember, she was in that film Monster Brawl, where she had played the witch bitch. and she also had performed in the 2012 Beatdown, which currently I believe is in post-production. But, yeah, we saw her in this matchup. You know, this was a slow opener to kick off the pay-per-view, I thought. I didn't think it was brutally bad, but some of the people that I was interacting with in the chat room tonight, and a special shout-out to those of you who took the time out to interact with me, had some really great conversations in the chat room. And if I'm not mistaken, I got to send a special shout-out to one of our boys who's having a birthday today. I was exchanging messages with him in the chat room and also on Facebook. I believe his name is Jason, and he is celebrating his 23rd birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Jason. I hope you are enjoying it well. I hope it's off to a damn good start. But, yeah, this was a weak way to kick off the pay-per-view. I thought I really had a hard time getting invested into this match, and I was asking folks, because you know me, guys, I don't bullshit you guys around. I always let it be known if I don't really know about something, and, you know, I'm starting to know the regulars of the Shine promotion, but with regards to Courtney Rush, I was trying to get educated on her background, and I was told, oh, well, you know, you'll be in for a treat. She's really good in what I saw tonight, although I'm sure she is probably good. I just did not see her truest potential tonight. But any woman that has the Thundercat logo on her ass definitely scores a couple of brownie points in my book, as far as I'm concerned. But in either case, I couldn't wait for this match to end, as we did end up seeing Allison Kay pick up the victory with a little bit of help from April Hunter. As the final few seconds of the match, we had saw Courtney tried to apply the sharpshooter, and it looked like Allison Kay, she actually had tapped out, but the referee was distracted because April Hunter had jumped on the apron to get the ref's attention, and as all this was going on, we ended up seeing Courtney eventually release that sharpshooter, try to go over to April, smack her, but April was able to dodge the hit in time. And right as she just threw that air smack, we see Allison Kay. She just immediately grabs Courtney and just puts her in the Sato suplex to score the pinfall victory. Business starts to pick up with our second match, folks, as we had our Shine Championship Tournament Qualifier. It was our first one of the evening as we saw Sweet Serena Knight defeat Su Yung. And Sweet Serena Knight, you know, she was pissed off. You know she was, as this match right here, you know, I really didn't have a hard time with this match. I was actually quite pleased with this match. To see Knight go in here, and let's not forget, folks, she is fresh off of losing her Shimmer Championship at Shimmer 53, which was regarded as one of the best Shimmer pay-per-views, as it was a jam-packed card. Remember, that had went down over WrestleMania weekend, and we already had talked about it briefly, as it was a damn good pay-per-view, and Shimmer's first pay-per-view, at least over here in the U.S., as they are now looking to bring their pay-per-views into regular rotation. If you haven't checked out the Shimmer promotion yet, now's a good time to start. But we saw Miss Knight lose that Shimmer title to cheerleader Melissa, and that was contested in a steel cage match. So you know she was fuming at the mouth, as she is just looking to get herself right back up there on top of that ladder of championship gold. And she just, like a bulldozer, just ran over this poor little thing. She just did not have a chance in this match, not one little bit. A damn good match, though. I thought that match, I thought that was a 3.5 out of 5. By the way, for that first match, I was very gracious. I know other people in the chat room, they had gave it a lower rating. I know there was actually a 0.5 out of 5. I don't know how the hell that's even possible. But I was kind of gracious. I went on ahead and I gave it a 2 out of 5 just for the effort. But I thought with this first tournament qualifier match, it was definitely a 3.5 out of 5. Third match we go where it was a triple threat match. We saw the return of Brittney Savage, who this time around, folks, had got a tan. Now she is starting not to look so odd looking anymore. Tan did her just right. Not too dark, not too tannish. She's just right. Good. She had took on Rhia O'Reilly and Solo Darling. Now, for those of you that are not really that familiar with Rhia O'Reilly, she's basically been known for doing her stuff down out in Ireland, what have you. So I tried very hard to look for some background info on this girl and also on Solo Darling. Now, Solo Darling, I know a little bit more about. She actually had made her debut at tonight's Shine 9 pay-per-view, and she formerly was working down in OVW for a couple of months. She really hasn't been on the wrestling scene that long. She pretty much made waves in 2011, so still inexperienced. Rhia O'Reilly, she's been at it just a tad bit longer from what I was able to gather from some folks. This is definitely one of those type of women you really got to do your freaking homework, and what time I had to try to do research on her, I was able to find very little. So special shout out to those of you that's going to be listening to this post show on the downloads, especially if you have some footage that you might be able to share with me of Rhia O'Reilly, kind of help me build more of a background for her to help set her up, because I have a funny feeling this isn't going to be the last time we'll be seeing her in the Shine promotion. I'd love to be able to tell more of a background story of her, but in either case, we saw Rhia O'Reilly pick up the victory in this triple threat match. This one was so-so. It was okay. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Could have been a little bit better. Let's go to our fourth match now. It was the Shine Championship Tournament Qualifier, number 2, if you're keeping track. It was Rain along with April Hunter. Yeah, April Hunter, she's doing her double duty tonight. She's working for that valet money. Taking on Angelina Love. Yes, Angelina Love, one half formerly known stables, the beautiful people with the beautiful and the blonde-vacious Miss Velvet Sky. Oh, man, this was definitely a match I was looking very forward to as soon as I had heard about it announced on card. I just said, yeah, this is definitely going to be a damn good match. Let's see how this goes. Now, if you've been keeping track of Valkyrie, then you're kind of saying to yourself, you know what, it's just a matter of time before Valkyrie becomes just the whole effing big deal in the Shine promotion. And some folks that were looking at some of these Shine qualifying tournament matches were kind of saying to themselves, well, who could definitely go all the way? And a lot of people, they definitely feel that Rain is possibly going to go all the way to be crowned the first Shine Women's Champion to kind of really help solidify the Valkyrie stable. And I think you boys and girls are onto something, because Rain was able to pick up the win right here. April Hunter playing another distraction effect into this matchup to help Rain get the victory over Angelina Love. One of my favorite matches of the night, match 5, it was a 6-woman all-star match as Kellie Skater, Jessie McKay, and Shazza McKenzie, a.k.a. the Aussies. They had defeated the team of Nikki, Roxx, Mia Yim, and Santana. Oh, this was one of the best matches of the night, and I'm not just putting it out there. I really, really stand behind it. It was definitely one of my favorite matches of the night. 3 girls that I did not really know anything about, And I just kind of like that element. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I kind of like to kick back and just see some unknown talent just pop up, and they kind of got me going, okay, what are they about? I need to look them up. Okay, I like what I see. Let me do a little bit more. Now, Shazza McKenzie, I can definitely tell you a little bit about her. She actually used to do mainly some work down in Glory Wrestling, and over there, she had became a champion, and she was pretty much kind of popular over there on the indie scene overseas. She was also an ICW Women's Champion, and that's about as much as I can tell you about her. This was another wild card right here, where myself and even a couple of other people were kind of scratching our heads, kind of going, okay, what's going on right here with this particular matchup? But we knew the other girls on the opposite side, of course. Come on, man. Nikki, Roxx, Mia, Yim, the beautiful Santana. We know those girls over there. By the way, it was Nikki Roxx's birthday. Now, it didn't go off to a good start with this six-man tag team match, if that's what you want to call it, and that's exactly what it was, as we did see Nikki's team take a defeat. But later on in the night, Lenny and Daffney and all the baby faces on the roster, they would come out to try to help Nikki celebrate her birthday as they presented a cake. But that party would get spoiled by the one and only Mercedes Martinez, who ended up just taking some of the cake and just putting it all in the face of Nikki before brawling out with her briefly and then dumping the whole entire cake on her, even throwing a little bit more insult to injury and pushing Daffney on her keister there. And obviously, this little rivalry between these two girls is not over by a long shot. Those girls, they've been going back and forth. They got some bad blood between them. They've been going at it for so long. They know each other's moves. They got each other down. No doubt about it, probably at Shine 10, we're probably going to see these two girls lock it up again. Maybe it's going to be in the quarterfinals. Who knows? Speaking of finals, we had another Shine Championship Tournament qualifier as Jessicka Havok had defeated the returning Madison Eagles. That's right. Now, for those of you, you all should know that name very, very well. Australian female wrestler there. She's mainly been wrestling in Australia and the United States. She's done a little bit of work for Heartland Wrestling, Shimmer, World Class Extreme Wrestling, EGO Pro Wrestling, New England, Ring of Honor. Remember, things had got kind of scary for her a good while back there, as it looked as though she was going to be out for good. As remember, it was back in, I believe, 2011. She had suffered a very unfortunate injury as she basically had a torn ligament, and basically so much damage was done in her ACL and PCL that at the time, the 27-year-old mother of two, she thought that her career was going to be over, and the doctors they pretty much had told her, look, you got two options: either you can rehab your knee, or you can get surgery, and you're pretty much, if we do this surgery, you're probably going to be done. You might not be able to ever wrestle again. And so she decided to go with rehab, and it was the most grueling 20 months that she went through. But lo and behold, eventually she had made her return, actually over at the Shimmer 53 and 54 pay-per-views. And here she is tonight in Shine, and she was taking on Jessicka Havok. This was one of my second favorite matches of the night. These two girls were just getting it on big time. I really had appreciated the valiant effort that both of these girls had gave up. One of the most brutal, one of the most physical bouts that I've seen thus far since I've been watching Shine. Kind of made the stuff that Havok had did there with Rabbi Sky look a little amateur for me. I gave this match a 4 out of 5. Jessicka Havok had picked up the victory right here, as Jessicka Havok had advanced. And speaking of Mercedes Martinez, we did actually see her in action as she had defeated Evie. I do not know anything about Evie. She is one tough cookie to try to crack. Hey, I know some of you guys are probably like, what, come on, Lee, you're supposed to hook us up with the news. You're usually the professor over here. You guys know I'm usually doing my thing. I'm cramming. I'm trying to get as much information as I can for you guys, but myself, and I got to give props to Dan Johnson and a couple of other people. They're the shine and the shimmer, and all the women wrestling big supporters. They know their cats when they see it, and this was just one of the girls that they just didn't know. Because I was asking, I said, what's the 411 on this girl? And I need to know, so I'm setting up the show later tonight, and we just were not able to come up with anything on her. No hits, folks. But as soon as we're able to get more information on her, hey, we'll be more than happy to maybe possibly go back, maybe edit this episode, or just at a later date. Maybe one of the things that we could start doing on our website, and it could be done with the help of you all, especially those of you that know your independent wrestling. If you happen to hear us say there's certain things that we don't know about a wrestler, you're more than welcome to hit us up with an email. And if you have some type of a rough draft bio that you can send to us, we'll definitely put it on our new roster page where submissions are taken from you, the fans. That way we have A to Z roster of who's who. That way everybody can know. But unfortunately right here, Evie, she looked a little impressive in this bout, but she was just no match for Mercedes, who was just really, really in a peed-off mode big time. I gave that match 4 out of 5. If you've been keeping track, last 3 matches, I've given a 4 out of 5. Now, remember, I had said the whole birthday cake thing with Nikki Roxx earlier. Well, that had actually happened after the last championship qualifier match, which had saw the baddest bitch, Jazz, take on Ivelisse. And you're kind of kicking back, you're saying to yourself, is the third time going to be the charm? Is Valkyrie going to get a clean sweep at this pay-per-view and 3 of his members advancing from the first round of the championship qualifier? Well, not exactly, and if you had banked on it right, then you, my friend, earned yourself a chicken dinner as the baddest bitch, Jazz. Oh, she owned Ivelisse big time. I mean, man, we saw Ivelisse bust out a little bit of her MA moves there, man, showing off a little bit of what she's been learning within the past couple of months, because, she's been a big fan of that. And, man, she was really, really bringing it to Jazz. Jazz, of course, I have been a long-time fan of Jazz. That has just been one of my favorite female performers of all time. I have followed her since ECW to WWF. I love Jazz, huge fan of hers. And trust me, I was definitely heartbroken when she had rolled out of WWE. But, hey, she's been doing pretty damn well for herself on the independent circuit. And Jazz, she advanced. Hey, the way it's looking right now, you can't help but kind of wonder right here. We had Jazz advance. We had Jessicka Havok advance. We had April Hunter advance, and let's not forget we had Serena Knight advance. Just thinking about the combinations that we could be seeing at the next tournament, possibly. I mean, I'm not really sure how they're going to be doing this, if they're going to give us 4 new total competitors or what, but I would like to think that maybe we could see a matchup between Jazz and Jessicka Havok, or Jazz and Sweet Serena Knight. I mean, those right there, that would be some 2 damn good matchups right there. Jazz taking on Ivelisse, though, damn good match. I would have to give that one a respected 3.5, out of 5. You know, it was good, but I don't know. I just kind of, I'll stick with that rating. I thought that was pretty good for it. Now, here's the part of the show where a lot of people were pretty upset. As if you were keeping track at home, you know that the IPPV, it ended up going a little bit into overtime. Now, basically what had went down, just to kind of update you guys, especially those of you that didn't check out the IPPV, you're probably going to be glad that you didn't experience this. But as they were setting up the steel cage for the Arkham Asylum match between Leva Bates and Kimberly, we had a little bit of a technical screw-up, fuck-ups as I like to call them. Now, take it for what it's worth, but from what we were informed, it usually takes the crew at Shine Wrestling about 15, 20 minutes to set up the cage. Well, we went into about almost 30 minutes, and at this point, the feed had just abruptly ended. Everybody got kicked out of the chat room. Everybody got kicked out of the stream. Everybody was like, WTF, man, what the hell is going on? Just paid for this pay-per-view. You're kicking us out. We don't get the main event. What's going on right here? And if you were watching the Twitter feed at that point, I mean, you would have just seen a floodgate of tweets from upset people that were wondering what the hell was going on with the stream. Now, luckily, Lenny and crew, they had heard what happened, and they got in contact with WWN and let them know that, you know, they needed the stream to go longer. And, hey, they were able to do it within seconds, so people were able to just go on back in and watch the pay-per-view that way, or if you were just looking at the freaking homepage of WWN, then you probably would have just had to refresh, and then you would have went in. It was kind of interesting because when I went back into the chat room, almost the same amount of people that I was talking to, it was like half of them at least, were kind of gone. It almost looked like we had a new mix of people that were in there. But in either case, our main event, which was that steel cage match, it came on pretty late. You know, this pay-per-view originally, if everything was done on time, this pay-per-view should have went off by my estimate 11:30, maybe 11:45. But we didn't get our main event match until 12:05. If I'm not mistaken. It was 12:05, but it was worth the wait. You know, Leva Bates, Kimberly, they've had this long, long history together, and you knew that it was going to culminate in epic fashion. Of course, Leva never one to disappoint. In style, she comes dressed as the Joker, okay, from the frickin' The Dark Knight. And she's in the hospital nurse outfit, bringing out the trash cans, all of that. This was a physical, brutal match that had a couple of sweet spots in it. Probably the oh my fucking god moment of the night had to been when Leva had climbed up to the top steel cage and just came flying down with a modified missile drop kick, kind of like a leg drop almost, brother, that just had Kimberly just laid out as Leva tried to put on the straitjacket. Oh, yeah, that's the stipulation for this match. The only way you could win this steel cage match was to put your opponent in a straitjacket. Talk about mind-boggling, something that I haven't heard of in quite a long time. It sounds like an original concept to me. I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be some wrestling historian out there that's probably going to say, well, actually, Lee. Well, look, I'm just going to say from that female standpoint, it was original, and it damn sure was innovative, what they had there right there. But this match, it was worth the wait. Despite the little delay there, it was worth the wait to see this freaking match. Great main event. We saw Leva Bates pick up the victory. How the hell she was able to get Kimberly in the straitjacket with such ease? I don't know if she was practicing at home or what, but homegirl had it down. It was, okay, this goes here, this goes here, that goes there. I'm like, okay, all right, she got it done. But damn good match. I thought for this one, I'm tempted to give it a 5 out of 5, but I'm going to have to give it a respectable 4.5 out of 5. I really want to give it a 5 out of 5, but I think I'm not going to give it that because of the late start. Kudos for Lenny and crew. They were able to get on top of the stream and fix it, but when you have that little long delay there, and then you have the same promos playing over and over and over, and it's basically like the same 5-6 promos that you keep seeing over and over as you're wondering what's going on with the steel cage. You kind of got to take all of those and factor it into the equation of the overall rating for that match. So that's how I'm looking at it. But overall, I would have to say, hands down, this was a definitely, overall, I'd have to give the pay-per-view a solid, I'll give this pay-per-view a solid 3.5 out of 5, maybe a 4 out of 5. Is it worth catching on demand? Yeah, it's definitely worth. It's definitely worth owning on DVD, just so you can kind of have that sentimental value, as these are the beginning stages of the crowning of a new Shine Women's Champion, which, by the way, the tournaments will be continuing on the next Shine pay-per-view on May 24th. And, of course, we're going to be covering that, as we are making it be our business to cover all Shine pay-per-view events for you all. And our first ever Shine champion will be crowned at Shine 11 in June. And that's going to be a historical moment right there. 1 year that the company will have been in business. And that's definitely going to be a pretty damn good show right there. I'm already looking forward to 11, but we got to get through 10 first. But, yeah, definitely check out the pay-per-view when you get a free chance. And that's going to do it for the Shine 9 results tonight. I'm feeling a little good, but I'm not going to be going against the good word of my weekend doctor. It's my girlfriend, who was a little bit hell-bent that I wanted to do this show tonight, as I'm not at 100% yet, and I think you guys could kind of tell that. So it's with great regret that I inform you guys I'm not going to be doing a Saturday weekend edition in a handful of hours. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to rest up for the rest of the weekend, and we'll definitely do a post show for you guys on Monday night covering the fallout from Raw. And you know how we do it over there. And I'll definitely be back with you guys on Tuesday with Diamond K, and we'll cover the latest in wrestling news headlines and beyond. But I'm going to be resting up this weekend. Special shout-out to those of you that have won some cool prizes from our WrestleMania post show. I may not be delivering the packages, as I have to go to the post office to mail everything off. But the lovely Tammy has offered her services along with my girl. They're going to be doing all the running around tomorrow to mail everything off to you guys. So as soon as I have confirmation that everything's been mailed out, you'll 9 times out of 10 be hearing from me before the weekend is out, to let you know that your packages have been shipped off and they are on their way. All right, boys and girls, that's going to do it. In the meantime, any episodes that you might have missed, be kind, rewind, check them out on the downloads available in the Stitcher and iTunes marketplace. Use the keywords the RCWR show. While you're at it, go check out our website over at InfinityOneProductions.com. We give you a little bit of news that you can use. Not just always about wrestling, give you a little bit of everything. While you're at it, take the time out to check out our new RCWR show T-shirts. Shipping is on us, as shipping is free. You're not going to get a better deal than what we're offering for the shirts. So represent, go check it out, and that's going to do it. Make sure you hit us up on Twitter at InfinityOneProd and also at the RCWR show. like us on Facebook at Infinity One Productions. Black Avenger Lee Sanders wishing you guys to have a safe and fun weekend. And on a personal note, I am in euphoria that the good men and women in the law enforcement over in Boston have successfully captured the other bomber who did that crazy shit at that Boston Marathon on Monday. I'm glad that we were able to wrap this up all within the same week, not letting it go into another week with more questions, with more concerns. Great job to all of you. Boston, you all can sleep peacefully tonight. You all be safe, be kind to one another, folks. I will see you next week. Take care.